Welcome to 5 Minutes with Conor. I'm Conor Smith. Today we're going to dive in with another successful entrepreneur. Whether you're tackling operational challenges, technology, marketing, or in this person's case, strategic global challenges, every small business has a unique journey. Today I'm excited to learn about Christopher Prosa and his business, Blue Star Consulting Group. Welcome, Christopher.
Thank you so much, Conor.
Yeah, great to meet you. Christopher, you're not a traditional business, so would you take some time and just slow down and tell the audience about Blue Star and what you guys do?
Sure. I founded Blue Star Consulting Group, LLC in 2024 in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And really the goal was to advance U.S. national security and mutual global security interests through high-level strategic consulting services for government, private, nonprofit, and non-governmental organizations operating domestically here in the U.S. and abroad with developing nations and foreign allied nations.
Super interesting. And Christopher, how did you get involved with this type of work?
That's a good question. So I think back in 2020 is when I kind of took the leap into some side work, some foreign diplomatic relations work in Southeast Asia. And prior to that, I had served refugee and asylee clients through a state government agency and a international nonprofit, an INGO, really. And that was kind of probably where I got my start, with some of this international work. And then in 2020, kind of moving into international development, foreign diplomatic relations, things like that for our US federal government, I think really was the kickstart. So I kind of ran that side work through a sole proprietorship. And then in mid-June, decided to go ahead and close that sole proprietorship and then form an LLC to forward some of that global, really it's global economic development, foreign diplomatic relations work through the LLC. And then at that point started to kind of move as well into the US national security sector as well.
Super interesting. What, through all of those different public, private, economic, strategic, security experiences, what would you consider to be your greatest accomplishment?
Sure, that's a good question. I think being client facing for so many years, well over 20 years, both on the individual client side and then certainly in the business side, really has kind of paved the way for this heightened flexing and maybe continual building of high level emotional intelligence. At least that's the strive. So I think really a continual strive probably to utilize that high level emotional intelligence in every professional interaction and really lean into that, flex that, develop that further, regardless of the professional titles I've held over the years. It's
well, a lot of that EQ is an incredible gift that not everybody has, and I imagine you're dealing with complex situations with complex people, and developing those EQ skills is certainly critical. How would you define, or do you define success for yourself? I think every business owner out there, or potential people thinking about starting a business, are always curious of that. For folks that have been in the seat, how do you define that?
That's a good question. I think really perseverance. I remember being introduced to the private business entrepreneurial scene in Missoula, Montana years back when I was a consultant for a state agency. And what I came to realize is that failure rate is really high for businesses. And I think one thing that really took me back is how that perseverance really played through. And I think really, if I could sum up success, it would be the perseverance in the face of adversity to meet, your personal mark, or really a willingness to recognize and accept when you've met the mark. A lot of us, sometimes, internally, we are our toughest critic, and it's really important, I think, to also lean on the advice of others who are telling you you're doing an amazing job, or you've accomplished, whatever fleeting goals, you have in front of you.
Yeah, that entrepreneurial tick in your head of what haven't I got done versus what have I got done it's super important to be able to slow down and look backwards and see how far you've come. Any important lesson that you'd like to share with the audience that you've learned along the way?
Yes. So I'd say failure to achieve whatever fleeting goal or aspiration provides a critical roadmap to future success, and really is the catalyst for personal and professional growth and advancement. At least that's my biased view.
Love that, Christopher. It's the barriers. Somebody once said those barriers are your fuel for strategy. Those you're not failing, you're learning or you're winning. That's great. Christopher, for any final closing thoughts?
Yeah, maybe just, an emphasis on this idea of, failure and how much growth comes of that. And really, the way that I see it, I don't really see another way to succeed without multiple failures. And then, bringing in this idea of perseverance to accomplish whatever goals in front of you. I think that might be the recipe for success.
Love it. And I think that's great fuel for fellow entrepreneurs. Thank you for taking some time to share your story with us today, Christopher. Really inspiring to hear about how you're navigating all of the challenges, opportunities of growing a business and adding value, across the globe for all involved. For those listening, remember, success is much more than just about money. It's about growth, like Christopher highlighted, perseverance, and faith in where you are and where you're going and those things that are greater than yourself. I look forward to sharing more journeys like this on the next 5 minutes with Conor. Thanks, Christopher, for being here.
Thank you, Conor, for having me. I appreciate it.
Marketing is really hard for people. It's intangible, it's expensive, it doesn't make sense. Small businesses struggle with it. And ultimately, we try and help people make it make sense and produce good return on investments for them. If you can get people out of the complexities and really just help them with their story, their brand, and then truly moving off of that stuff into things that actually generate leads for them, that's what they're looking for.